Welcome back. By now you should have a clear understanding of your sales strategy and how to accurately communicate your message to the market through attention, communication and trust. We want to now take those principles and implement it into the next video. The goal of this video is to take a look at your second viable business model building block, which is branding. Now, branding is a very exciting topic and a lot of people love their brands, and I love to do the session when it comes to branding. But sometimes people can get too emotional when it comes to their branding and they attach all little nonsense things that means a personal message to them here and there and everywhere. I want to encourage you to make sure your brand is focused on the target market and not on your emotions. Make sure that it speaks the right message and that it's relevant to the target market. Now, the reason why branding is so important is branding is the first introduction a customer will have with your business. And that first introduction produces the first and ultimate perception of what your business is and what your business does. And once that first impression is formed, it's very difficult to change that. It's like Paul Rand said, a logo doesn't necessarily sell, it identifies. And that's why branding is so important. It identifies, it gives your business an identity in the market segment. And I'm going to give you now 4 principles to what makes a good brand and what you should keep in mind when you go ahead and brand your business. Firstly, a brand needs to be relevant. Secondly, it needs to be appropriate. Thirdly, it needs to be appealing. And lastly, it needs to be simplistic. Keep it simple. Paul Rand also said, design is so simple, that's why it's complicated. But I want to encourage you to keep your branding simple. As Steve Jobs said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Now, when it comes to creating a brand, I want to share 3 thoughts with you that you can implement while you create your brand. The first one is you got to select the right layout. And there's 3 different layouts that the majority businesses goes when it comes to branding. The first layout is your single brand or your niche brand. As an example, one of my businesses is Business Plan Pro. That's a very simple single niche brand that speaks to a specific audience for a specific service. The second layout is your house of brands, where I've got my SME as the holdings company, and then under my SME I have my SME Business Plan Pro, my SME Small Business Coach, my SME Marketing, and my SME Entrepreneurship School. And the last one is a branded house. Now, a branded house is where you have a holdings company, and under the holdings company you get your different brands that's not necessarily got anything to do with each other, but it's part of the same holdings brand. So that's the first thing you need to select. You need to select the right layout for your brand. Secondly, you got to find a positioning statement. If you look at the market and the audience, what do you want your brand to take on as a positioning statement? Where do you want to be positioned in the market? And then lastly, what's your message? Your message ultimately means that you need to have a name, a tagline, and a design or an image. That's what's going to get your message across. And I want to encourage you to use the 5-second rule. If the consumer or the target market doesn't understand what you do within the first 5 seconds, your brand is not good enough. It's way too competitive out there to be too fancy with your branding and try to give hidden messages. You got to tell people exactly what you do within the first 5 seconds. Now, either the name must say exactly what you do, or either the tagline must say exactly what you do. So more or less, I tell my customers or my clients personally, I tell them, if your name is something that's very creative, make sure the tagline is very simplistic, and vice versa. If the name is very simplistic, that gives you a bit of leverage with your tagline to be creative. There you have it, guys. That's the process of branding. I will see you in the next video.